No nonsense gin drinking. All gin, no nonsense.
Hello gin lovers, welcome back. I am Bobby Freeman and today, my friends, we have a little bit, a kind of a different video for you today. I'll explain why. First of all, let me introduce you to this gin, which I guarantee none of you, not a single one of you, will have heard of. However, its name is Strawberry Whiskers, and the reason you won't have heard of it is because it was made by my girlfriend Narissa, because we went on a gin blending experience to the Anno distillery. I've featured quite a few Anno gins. Which ones have I got? Oh yeah, they had the old, the strongest gin in the world, the 95% one. And they run these kind of sort of blending workshops. You get a tour of the distillery and then you get to go in their little sort of bar area and make your own gin. Now, me and Narissa went down, we made one each. It was an amazing experience. If you want to go there, I mean, I don't think I can link to it in the section below because YouTube won't allow me to link to anything that sells alcohol, but I'm sure you can find it. They're called Anno Distillers. And we made our own gin. Now, I also made the gin as well. I posted it on a picture of this online, the old no-nonsense gin drinking gin. However, a lot of people got very excited and thought I was producing my own gin, which I am not. It's just something we made up at the Anno Distillery, and they very kindly made up a nice little label. Now, rather annoyingly, I thought to myself, because the idea is that you sort of make, first of all, you do little tiny samples, put all your little samples of gin in there and sort of try it and think, oh, it needs more juniper, it needs more this and that. And the idea is you sort of do a bit of trial and error before you fill your actual bottle. However, old Big Shot Freeman here thought he knew exactly what he was doing, thought, no, I know exactly what flavours I want, and I went straight for the bottle. Unfortunately, it just came out a little bit mediocre. It's okay, but it was nothing to write home about. But Narissa's was absolutely extraordinary. So I'm going to feature this one on the show for you today. Now, obviously, I can't read about it from the website because it doesn't actually have a website. This is the only bottle in the world, but I can tell you a little bit about what she put into it. So what she's done, which I thought, to be honest, I thought she was quite mad when she told me. She says she's going to make something which, as far as I'm aware, has never been done before. She made a strawberry Old Tom, hence the name Strawberry Whiskers. I did suggest that she call it Strawberry Pussy, but she looked at me as if I just farted. Anyway, so she whacked a nice bit of the Old Tom sort of syrup, that nice kind of viscousy, slightly sweet and a little bit smoky. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Old Tom, I did a video all about the history of Old Tom, why it's so important, because it kind of links the original sort of crude spirit from the 1970s. 1970s? 1700s, definitely not the 1970s. And that was called Genevieve or Geneva, people pronounce it different ways. It's one of those two anyway. And Old Tom is the link between that and what we now know as the London Dry. It was kind of a crossover period in the middle, a little bit sweeter and kind of, as I say, feels like thicker and viscous, almost bordering on kind of a caramel essence to it. And I love it. In fact, I predicted it was going to be the next big thing. In fact, I predicted that. When did I predict that? About 2 years ago, and it hasn't happened yet, but I'm still standing by it. I think it might be one at some point. And she took the base of that. As you can see, it's a slightly yellowy colour. That's from the Old Tom sort of syrup. And she added in a bit of strawberry essence. Now, to be honest, I thought this was going to be a little bit too much. I thought it was too much of a big clash of flavours. There's probably a reason no one's ever done this, and that is why. However, when I sniffed it, I haven't actually tried it yet because I thought I'll save it for the channel, okay? I haven't actually tried it, but I did smell it, and oh my goodness, it smells lovely. It's like it's like an indulgence, like a kind of you get that thick kind of sweetness from the from the Old Tom. But then, as I say, I thought the strawberry would be too much, but it kind of blends beautifully. I mean, if you like sweet gin, you're definitely not going to like it, but oh, to me, it just smacks a little bit of kind of the Beefeater strawberry, maybe even a bit of the old King of Soho Variorum, but with a little bit of kind of earthy sort of gravitas and thickness to it. So let's get it in the old glass shower. As I say, I've only sniffed this so far, but I have not tasted it. I'm guessing it's going to be a gin and tonic one. However, I think this might be a cheeky little neat one as well, even for a hardened gin tonic drinker like myself. However, let's try it nonetheless. So I say to you, my friends, Strawberry Whiskers, made by my own girlfriend. Cheers. Wow. Wow. I'm a bit annoyed really that it's so good. That, my friends, as I said with the smell, is kind of a gloriously kind of sweet indulgence. So all those Old Tom kind of thick and sort of voluptuous kind of almost smoky sweetness kind of slithers into the mouth a little bit, like a sort of a nonchalant serpent. And I'm fairly certain that's the first time that phrase has ever been used before, but that's kind of what it's like. It slopes in there and glides around the mouth with almost a kind of an oily sort of quality to it. And it sits there for a little bit, but then kind of the tendrils of sweetness kind of just start to tickle around the base of the tongue. And this is why I love Old Tom so much. It's kind of a more intense but mellow experience than the normal London Dry. But then out of that, particularly when you've swallowed, you start to get an essence of the strawberry as it's in there, but particularly when it's gone down, the aftertaste, as soon as you introduce a bit of oxygen, just a waft of just luscious and concentrated sweet strawberry fun. It's almost kind of like a dessert. It's a real kind of, I suppose you have dessert wines, don't you? I think this is a dessert gin. You wouldn't want this with your main meal, but maybe if you were having something like, I don't know, Eton mess, that would just complement it absolutely beautifully. I keep saying I should do a food and gin pairing video, shouldn't I? So then, as you know, I'm not a big keen, neat gin drinker, but I've got a feeling this might turn me around. Hang on a second, let's get it in. Wow. It's kind of, I always think it's counterintuitive. I think you get more flavors when you add the tonic in there than when you have it neat. However, the opposite is kind of true here. That is basically, imagine just what I just told you, all those flavors and sort of descriptive sort of elements I went through, but just kind of concentrated and burning brightly without any dilution. That kind of sense of oily, almost butteriness of the Old Tom is just magnified tenfold. It's just voluptuous. The strawberry essence, I would say, is just a tiny tinge. That stays about the same, but the Old Tom has been oomphed. I think that's a word, and the strawberry has remained the same, which I'm quite glad about because I'm not sure what the opposite of an oomph would be. An oomph? No, I don't know. So then, you might think this is a kind of a pointless video because, as I say, this is the only one in the world. However, my friends, I know as well as you enjoying that sort of blending experience and making your own gin and getting the tour of the distillery, they also keep the botanical list on file. So if you do want another one, you can ring up and order it. So I'm very sorry to my viewers all around the world. Unfortunately, I think this is a service that's going to be only available in the UK. However, I do believe the restrictions have been slightly eased this week on people travelling into the UK. You don't have to quarantine or something now. I don't know, but please don't quote me on this because I don't know the exact rule. I never know the full details on anything, let alone this. So please just check the rules if you are going to travel. But if you do, then please get on the phone to our No Distillers and order a bottle of strawberry Whiskers. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure how much it'll cost you to do this, which is not particularly great from a gin channel, which is supposed to be informative, but I'm sure the Anno Distillers are watching, and I'd be very grateful if they put a comment in the section below. So guys, as I say, a bit of an unusual video today, but sometimes it's nice to break the mold a little bit, you know. I haven't got a boss here, it's just me. I don't even have a team of people. I do the camera, I do the lighting, I do the editing, I do the tasting, I do everything, which means I can do what the bloody hell I want. No one's going to stop me. But I thought some of my regular viewers might quite like this and find it interesting. And also, it might be sort of, you know, you might not know about these sort of experiences and it gives you an excuse to go down there and try it. By the way, I must just say, I'm not being paid by Anno to say this. Narissa doesn't get any money if you buy it. This is purely on an informative basis. So if you do find yourself in the UK, or if you live in the UK, give them a quick call. And if you like a sweet gin, a bit of a sort of I'd say it's definitely a guilty pleasure, this gin, because, you know, it's not going to be for the purist. It's not going to be a classic kind of London Dry gin lovers gin. However, it is quite an extraordinary little experience. And I'm quite proud of Narissa for creating it as well. So if you can get hold of some, I'd be fascinated to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below. So guys, thank you very much for watching my rather unique video today. If it was of interest to you, then I'm very pleased. If not, then I can only apologize. But if you did like it or enjoy it in any way, shape or form, as I always say, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the like button on the video as well as the bell icon so you get notified when my new videos come out. And if you want to support the show so I can fix my leaky roof, head over to my Patreon page or indeed press that join button below the video. But until next time guys, you all know the drill. Take care, stay safe. Thank you to all my patrons and my members, and of course, keep drinking the gin.